You're watching National Streaming Sports. Over 20 podcasts, 70 shows, and a 3.5-star rating on Roku TV.
Good evening. Fast introduction. I told you it was going to be quick.
Fast.
And good evening, gentlemen. We have Bo Crouch, Crouch, and James Martin, Keith Ingle, and Mike Tipton on the show today on your professional sports show. We'll be talking NBA, NFL trade that happened this week, and a little bit of the MLB. First, we're going to start off with the NBA. We can get right into it. Hey, Keith, how's that coaching search going?
It was going better a few hours ago than it actually ended up. You know, I'll tell you what. And I don't often toot my own horn, but I will toot my horn. The last thing I said on this topic Sunday morning was Dawn Staley was a smokescreen, and because they want to say they went out of the box even before they hired Mike Brown in a few days, and a few days are gone by, and we have Mike Brown as our head coach. And how do I get excited? Listen, I don't want to. Mike Brown has been a decent NBA coach. And if we hired Mike Brown maybe before we hired Tibbs 5 years ago, I might have said, that's not a bad hire. Yep. But after the last 5 years, and the reason they gave for firing Tibbs, this is not what any Knicks fan should be excited about. Hasn't won a playoff series since 2012. He coached LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and never won an NBA championship or even approached. Well, he got the finals with LeBron, I guess, in Cleveland. But this is just going to be more of the same. And I think he's got the job because he'll do what the front office wants him to do, unlike Tibbs. Tibbs didn't want offensive and defensive coaches or coordinators, whatever we're calling them in the NBA, right? He didn't want a lot of some of this new age stuff that the Knicks front office wants to get into, I think, and Mike Brown is going to do whatever the front office tells him to do. And the Knicks are expected, with the injuries and trades, and I'm sure we'll talk about one of those tonight, the Knicks theoretically are the front runners in the Eastern Conference to go to the finals. And this is not the guy I would want leading the charge.
Well, and that would have been true if they didn't get rid of the coach. So it's not like this changes the trajectory in any way. I mean, this is Tibbs 2.0, right? He's a two-time coach of the year, but, you know, he hasn't really done anything. So it's the same guy.
And again, you know, if your reasoning was he won't do what we ask him to do with offensive and defensive coordinators, again, whatever we call them in the NBA, and he just, you know, again, he won't get into our analytics and the things we want to do in the front office, then they should have said that. Don't say he's taking us as far as he can. And then, as you said, Bo, hire the same guy who's only gotten so far with only two of the best players ever to play in the history of the NBA. So, yeah, I'm not terribly excited. As you can see, I'm a little agitated.
And I can't say like anyone would blame you for being agitated, right? Like you look at the last, like this is a what have you done for me lately? That's what sports is, right?
Yeah.
The Sacramento Kings in Mike Brown's first year won 48 games, then 46, and then he got fired after going 13-18, right? Like there's got to be something there. Like I love him because he has that background with the San Antonio Spurs, right? Like that's about it. He's got a little bit of a background with the San Antonio Spurs, and there's a part of me that thinks that one day maybe he can wind up being just like Steve Kerr, but it's not going to happen. And if I'm a Knicks fan, this ain't sexy. This isn't something that I'm excited about. You talk about them being a front runner. I think Mike Brown being the head coach for them makes them like a fourth or a fifth seed, right? Like they can't be the best team in the Eastern Conference. So for me, like if I'm a Knicks fan, this is just the Knicks doing what the Knicks do.
You have to think that they're a front runner only because of the other injuries, though.
Agreed. They will. I mean, yes, because of other teams' issues, they're the default front runner probably today. I mean, there's still some problems. I mean, they made a couple of decent signings to help their bench. I mean, they're very limited in what they can do anyway. Especially now, I think after the two moves they made, they've got nothing left but the veteran minimum. That's about all they can offer anybody. So they can only get so much better. So the thought was it was going to be a coach that got us over the top. Well, that's not going to be the case. They aren't going to win this champ. If they win a championship, I guess this is not fair to Mike Brown. It's not going to be because of Mike Brown.
What you got on
I
that?
know you want to. Oh, good.
If I'm in a locker room, I'm a player, I'm not happy. If I'm a fan, I'm not happy. Because ultimately you got to the Eastern Conference Finals, something you hadn't done since 1999, and you did it with a coach that showed that he was showing ascension. Every year that he was there, he was just going up and up and up. There's one more place to go, and that's the NBA Finals, and potentially you get there next year with him. And you decide to fire him, and now you're regressing, and now you're regressing with your coaching hire, and now potentially, like Tip said, you're no better than maybe a fourth or fifth seed, or maybe at best maybe a third. But I just don't see this moving the needle. I don't see it making anything better. It's just maybe you've plateaued, and now you're regressing. It's unfortunate because there was great potential. And before this, I didn't see them making the championship, but you can see what I think. There's just inspiration, and the coach did what the best he could with what he had. They
Mhm.
didn't have great defensive players. They still don't. I mean, Jalen Brunson is a liability defensively, and so is Carl Anthony Towns. I just think that he's used to having great defenders and great wing players that can defend and shoot the three, and it just wasn't there. But they still got better than what they were expected to be. And that said, you don't get rid of a coach like that because of, like Keith said, of the some disagreements regarding the hires. This is bad.
You
This
know,
is not good at all.
when this front office tries to spin this as a success next year, when it's anything less than a championship, I want to see how they do that. You guys could be very right. They could be a third, fourth, fifth seed. Who knows? If they do regress because of the change in philosophy, we'll see a different team approach on the floor, I'm sure. Player development is something that is important to the front office, and one of the problems they had with Tibbs. So again, based on everything that the front office told me about why Tibbs is no longer the coach, anything less than a championship is a failure.
Well, and I guess the one thing that like Bo kind of mentioned about this earlier, right? The one thing that helps him out is the fact that the Eastern Conference is going to have a ton of injuries and things like that you got to navigate through. Milwaukee, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, at least New York isn't Milwaukee right now, where you're going to pay Damian Lillard $23 million a year to not play for you, which just seems completely asinine. Yeah. And the big signing you get is Miles Turner. Miles Turner's a good player. He's not going to move the needle for you, right? Like, that's what we're talking about in free agency. If you're going to spend $107 million on somebody, it's got to be good. At least that's what I used to think. And then I saw the headline that Jakob Poeltl of the Toronto Raptors got a 4-year, $104 million extension. How the hell does that happen, guys? I'm terrible too. I can go play basketball for that kind of money. You need me, sign me any team. I'm available.
Yeah, in today's signings, the Hornets signed guard Spencer Dinwiddie to a 1-year contract. I just signed him because of his name. Lakers signed center DeAndre Ayton, which we just talked about, to a 2-year contract, and the Mavericks re-signed guard Dante Exum to 1-year contract. What were other trades or free agent pickups that you guys liked?
Well, I'm a fan of the New Orleans Pelicans. I like the Jordan Poole pickup. I think that's really, I mean, to trade CC, what's his name? I got the initial CC.
Conley?
No. He played for Portland, and he went. He got traded to CJ McCollum. Thank you. CM. Sorry. Anyway, he was traded there. He was traded to the Wizards. It was a necessary trade. He wasn't doing as well as he was when he first got there, and you got a young guard coming up in Jordan Poole. I think he's going to mesh well with Zion, and I like the 2 rookies that they have there. So not only do they have a good trade, and then Sadiq Bey is there as well. And I like the 2 kids at the three draft picks that they have in Fears, and Queen, Devin Queen, and the other kid in the second round. I can't think. I'm sorry, I'm losing it here. But anyway, to match up with a few players that they have, man, I think New Orleans is doing something here. I think they're really gonna look a lot better than what they were this year. Is that thing? But the big question mark is Zion, and can he stay healthy?
That's a question mark. I'll give you a chance to talk, Bistrilla, because I like Duncan Robinson going to the Pistons myself. I think it's a nice move for them. Gives them some versatility, and it's a move that I kind of, it's under the radar a little bit, but I think it's a move that I would like if I was a Piston fan. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah,
and as far as Miles Turner, real quick on that comment of, to me, that hurts Indiana a lot more than it helps Milwaukee. So, I mean, he's a good role player and a good player in that system. But playing with Giannis, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Anyway, good about.
Yeah, I like the Duncan Robinson signing because I think it's going to be more of I think it's a replacement for Malik. I think they've already crossed that bridge. So you know what? No, thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. You were good, but we can't have that. So I think that was a replacement for that. And, you know, they also the free agent that we had leave, what's his name? The one that just got signed. He was a backup shooting guard. Hardaway. Yeah, they traded him. Hardaway wasn't that really. I mean, he was okay, but he wasn't
very up and
he
down.
Was
Same way with the Knicks.
Bench support. Yeah. He was bench support basically. He wasn't the greatest, so I wasn't really worried about them re-signing him anyway. But yeah, the Pistons are doing good. I mean, I think that they're going to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams that are going to be competing for the Eastern Conference championship.
For me, it's got to be KD to Houston, because I always appreciate when a team just rolls the chaos dice and helps us write content. So, do I think it's going to go well? Not particularly, but will it be funny? Absolutely.
I am so glad that Kevin Durant went to Houston. Like, whenever I heard as a Spurs fan that there was interest in KD going to San Antonio, I was like, please, for the love of God, no, right? Like, if it's KD 10 years ago, maybe. KD now, 117 years old. He's still got a jumper, but it's not going to be what gets you over the top to win you a championship. To me, what I think is going to be a very underrated signing here is Brook Lopez going to the Clippers.
Good one. That's a good one, too.
You've already got Zubats there, who was made a case for Defensive Player of the Year, right? Like, you've got a great big there. You can play Brook Lopez as a 7'4" that stretches the floor for you. Like, that's going to give them some dynamic ability, along with James Harden saying, you know what, I can take my player option, I can get a whole bunch of money, or I can do something team friendly here. He does the team friendly move. So it's going to help the Clippers. I think the Clippers are going to wind up being a top 4-3 seed in the NBA's Western Conference. But that Brook Lopez signing, to me, is going to be a very underrated signing during this free agency.
Yeah, I agree.
Good one.
Anybody else had any trades or?
I just love where the Spurs are going. Like we want to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. I can talk about the San Antonio Spurs. They're like, I don't expect them to be a championship contending team, but I expect them to be like a fringe playoff team, anywhere between 6 to 10, get in that play-in tournament, do whatever it is you got to do. That's going to be a scary team for anybody to want to go up against. Like, think of that, where you got Victor Wembanyama, who can play anywhere between the 3 and the 4, even on the defensive side. And then what the Spurs have done with Stephon Castle going out and the draft that they had with the draft was really good as well. I'm missing some players' names. I'm having a moment right here. I'm 114 years old myself, so I'm having my own memory moments right now. The one thing that I would question, though, from what J-Train said earlier about the Pelicans, right? And this is going to the Western Conference. The reason why the Wizards were so ready to get rid of Jordan Poole is because he's not the veteran presence that you need. Whenever you look at that veteran guy that you need on your team, you have Zion Williamson, you got Jordan Poole. None of those guys are going to be enough to really make it seem like your team is stable. Like they have the mental ability of calming the team down whenever it gets to those rough moments. So if I'm a Pelicans fan, that's what I would be worried about.
Yeah, they're definitely going to miss that from C.J. McCollum. He's definitely the veteran presence there, but I like the talent that's there, especially with the rookies. So I just think that they're going to offensively they're going to be a lot better than what they were. So yeah, you're right. That if there had to be something lacking there, it would be a veteran presence there. The KD move, I'm not mad at the KD move. I heard you mention earlier in regards, you guys mentioned that as long as KD still gave 27 points per game last. So offensively, I'm not afraid of him. I don't think he'll be a liability because I like Ime Udoka's approach defensively. So that's just kind of what they're missing, and he's the guy that could give you that last shot when you want to give somebody to put the ball in their hands, and you can't stop that wingspan. You can't stop that height, man. I mean, he's one of the hardest people to stop defensively. So I think that's really one of the things that they were missing, and so that's gonna put Houston a little bit higher than what people think. I'm not. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, the only thing why I think it's the chaos end of it, it has nothing to do with his ability to shoot, because obviously he can do that. It's whether or not if they're trying to make him the guy, right? Like if he just gets to go play basketball, dude can ball out. That's what he wants to do. If they try to make him the guy, they are going down in flames hard. And we've seen it with him trying to create his own super teams that went nowhere. It's just, if he has to be.
Uh-oh.
For sure.
Uh-oh.
It's probably KD on his burner account. He knows Bo is talking about him.
He's awesome. KD, shut me out. But yeah, no, I mean, if he has to be Batman, it's a problem, right? Like if he's got to be the guy that runs the show, does all of that, it's a problem. If he can go be support, if he can go be Robin, he'll ball out. He'll be amazing. So it's really going to depend on what it is Houston thinks they want to do with him. If they're trying to make him the focal point and be the leader of the team and all of that, man, they're going nowhere.
But he has to be, right? Like that was the thing with Houston. Houston was such a balanced team. I don't think they had any players average 20 points a game all season long, right? And they were such a balanced team. Kevin Durant automatically becomes your number one option on offense. To me, like I think the Phoenix Suns got the better end of this trade, right? Like I like Dylan Brooks. I like Jalen Green. The number 10 overall pick is Kaman Maylock from Duke, 7'2", defensive stalwart. You cannot fix that. Like that would have really helped out Houston as opposed to getting Kevin Durant, right? Like you could have continued the youth movement going up forward here. Kevin Durant's your number one option, and everyone knows he's going to be the number one option. Jalen Green was basically the guy that could have been your number one or number two. Now he's not there. Dylan Brooks gave you that veteran presence on a really young team. For me, like I like Sengun, but Sengun needs like more than just Kevin Durant surrounding him. Like he has to be now the number one option there because of what J Train said. He averages 27 points a game on 50% shooting. So he is your number one option. No one else can do that for you.
Going to be interesting. He should use that wingspan to play some defense because he might put in 27, but he gives up about 48. So,
well, we saw he was playing tremendous defense against Bo right now. So if he does defense,
he secretly works at Comcast.
That's his off-season job. He's got a cable truck right out in front of your house.
That would actually make a ton of sense.
Hey,
he's got like a radar going around. The radar's just looking for who's talking about him. Oh, this stream's talking about me.
Internet down.
So what did everybody think about Shea Butter getting signed to a 4-year, $285 million extension?
If they got the money to pay it, why not? What better choice to get the money? I mean, a man's averaged 32 points a game. He was the MVP, won a championship, hadn't done that since Shaq. Joins a rare company, Jordan and Kareem and a few other people. Yeah, $285 million, most money.
80 million.
He fits the criteria of the highest paid person. Let's just put it that way.
When's it stop though? I mean, this is crazy. $80 million in the last year.
Well, Keith, let me say this. if somebody's making that money, the people that are paying, they're getting hand over fist.
Listen, I always say you're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. So whether you earn it, that's a different story, but you're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. So God bless them. I was watching ESPN the other day, and who's their bat? It was pardon the interruption. I'm trying to think of the basketball guy, Brian
Windhorst.
Whitehurst, right? He says that by the end of the decade, we'll have $100 million a year player by the end of this decade. That's the way your salaries are going. It's crazy. So
it's the TV deals. It's everything that they get. I mean, it's just that's the crazy thing is like if one player can get this amount of money, they're raking in way much money.
We're talking about quarterbacks and what they make. Jeez, the NBA players, the NBA stars make them look like they're making nothing for crying out loud. It's crazy.
It's not even the NBA stars. It's like a regular bench player.
No, that's great.
Like Kevon Looney. And I was thinking about this, right? Like, whose career would you rather have? Would you rather have Charles Barkley's basketball career where you made $41 million for your total career? Or would you rather have Kevon Looney's career where you've played 10 years, you made $42 million, and you got 3 rings to go for it as well, right? Like, that's a tough one to go with here, but it's because the bench players now are making so much. Like who's the dude the Spurs just signed? Luke Cornett. They give him $41 million. We just talked about Jakob Poeltl getting $104 million. That's Jakob Poeltl. And I guarantee you, I'm the only person on this show that knew what his damn name was because he played with the damn he made $104 million.
That's because you practiced that, Mike. That's what that was. You practiced.
No, he's good with it. If you want the one that I practiced, it was Sandro Mamukelashvili. That's the one that I practiced.
I can't do any of them.
Congrats.
We need more Smith and Joneses in sports. I'm telling you right now.
It reminds me of Office Space. Not gonna work here anymore anyway.
So speaking of trades and all that stuff that went on during the week, we had in the NFL Pittsburgh and Miami dealing. So we had Jalen Ramsey going to Pittsburgh for Minka Fitzpatrick and Jonnu Smith. And a throw in there, what is it, third, fourth rounder or something like that?
I thought it was like a
sixth rounder, yeah. First of all, is Pittsburgh going all in?
100%. They have to. How can you not be, right? They don't care about Jalen Ramsey will be great here in year one for sure. And, if he stays healthy. And then he kind of goes off the rails, but they don't care about anything but this year. And if Jonnu Smith repeats last year, I mean, as a Patriots fan, I hated seeing what he did in Miami last year because he did nothing there for 4 years. The Steelers are definitely all in because Rodgers has said he wasn't going to say what he said if this wasn't his last year. And, I don't think Tomlin, listen, there's pressure all around in Pittsburgh. There's got to be to make this season a memorable one. And it could be, but it could be for the wrong reasons as well. So
I always cringe whenever I hear the words all in because it reminds me of Jerry Jones, right? Last year in the offseason, he's like, the Dallas Cowboys were all in, and we saw what all in looked like for the Dallas Cowboys. It wasn't all that much. Yeah. And it's going to be the exact same thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Yeah. They can do all these moves. They're still the third best team in that division, and it's not even a question. Baltimore's better. Cincinnati's better. Congratulations on doing all these moves and being better than Cleveland. You're not the worst team in the AFC North. But for me, it's not going to matter. I don't understand what Pittsburgh is doing. Like, you're doing all this for 1 year, but you have nothing that's really going to equate to winning a championship, right? You sign Aaron Rodgers. Your odds of winning the championship stayed exactly the same. You get Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey, and you still kind of stay this. Your odds improved from 3,500 to 3,000. Congratulations, guys! You're almost there. It feels like they're making moves, and none of these moves matter at all. It's just like Jerry Jones in last year's offseason.
So the thing that's funny that really makes this not an impressive move. Instead of Johnny Smith, if they would have got a possession receiver in that deal, you'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of get it, right? But instead, you get another tight end, a position you didn't really need. You have a good tight end, right?
Yeah.
And then you get rid of a DB for a DB. Like, that doesn't, like, none of it. Speaking of just stuff that doesn't move the needle, there was all this hype that, oh, they're making deals, and then you see the deal and you're like, yeah, cool. That was like a Temu trade. Like, what are we doing?
and for me, like, if they had kept Minka Fitzpatrick, I would have been like, okay, maybe, right? But the fact that they got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is just a lateral move. It makes no sense.
Exactly.
On the flip side of that,
that move was a lateral move. They're not going to get better play out of Rodgers than they got out of Wilson and there, I'm having my own 114-year-old
exactly the other guy, because
Fields.
Thank you. He's the other guy. Yeah.
Well, like, to me, if you were going to go after Aaron Rodgers, just start Mason Rudolph, right? Like, it's basically the same guy right now. Like, you have the same amount of chance of winning a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers as you do with Mason Rudolph. You probably could have spent some money out there for something, just anything else. Like, Amari Cooper's still out there. Do something, Pittsburgh, to give yourself somebody. This trade was nothing. I like Johnny Smith, and it's going to be a security blanket, but like you said, they already had Freiermuth. Are you just going to play a 2 tight end set the entire time? Like, what the hell is this about?
Well, if they don't go get a guy
Keenan
like
Allen's
that,
out there too.
yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen's out there, and then there was a suggestion that if T.J. Watt doesn't get signed, and they better sign T.J. Watt. They don't sign T.J. Watt, you can just really forget it for Pittsburgh.
It's without a doubt they're signing T.J. Watt. And like I mentioned Sunday, we already know what the bar is already set with Myles Garrett. So it's only the sky's the limit for that that contract. TJ just sitting there like salivating at all the bags that are about to be at his door.
Well, I told y'all before, my conspiracy theory was T.J. Watt, Hawkinson, or Hendrickson over in Cincinnati, and Micah Parsons. They're just playing chicken right now. Whoever signs first, the other two are going to sign right after that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going to be a situation though with Hendrickson though. It's not going to happen like everybody wants, like he's worth. He's not going to get his worth. Let's just put it there. I think he just got some bad luck in his situation. First of all, he went to the Bengals. That's one. 2, he went to the Bengals. 3, did I mention he went to the Bengals? So I mean, it's just I think the situation is going to the Bengals. Their history of not paying their players the way they deserve to be paid and also his age. He's got a lot going against him, even though B and I go back and forth, B Striller go back and forth regarding this, that he's had 2 he's led the league with 17.5 sacks the last 2 years. But again, Father Time is undefeated against no one.
Well, I don't think you continue saying that they don't pay their players anymore. We just saw them pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Like, they paid them a lot of money. That's the reason why they can't pay him.
Right. That makes it even worse because they got put on the spot by their quarterback by saying you need to keep my players, but now they just put all their eggs into their offense. And they're gonna need to score like 60 points a game.
That's the question. Is Cincinnati going to be able to keep up the point? Yeah. So they got Burrow and they got Higgins and they got Chase. Are they going to be able to keep that up through the whole year? They can't even start the football season out since Burrow's been there on a winning streak. They're always losing 3 or 4 games in the beginning of the season.
Well,
and then they got no defense now.
And not that they had a defense anyway.
They got a story time last year. They
got worse defense this year.
Then
they're still in the North. They're still in the AFC North, which is one of the toughest divisions.
Think of Burrow's career since he got in. He's only on the field every other year, and he was healthy last year.
Mm-hmm.
He might get hurt.
That commented on that they have a dollar store defense. Dollar store is nice. They have a swap meet defense. They don't have.
What kind of swap meet are we talking about here?
Backyard garage sale defense.
Oh, backyard. Okay.
Garage sale defense. That's what they got.
Garage sales. No, we're talking about maybe flea market. We could say flea market defense. But
I was going to say you can get some nice stuff at a garage sale. No, this is like Sir Mix-a-Lot, Swap Meet Louie type stuff.
No, this is cigarettes in front of the store defense.
You got 25 cents, sir? Well, somebody suggest a Pittsburgh Steeler fan who has been commenting, by the way, not going to mention no names, Robbie. But anyway, he said that maybe TJ Watt would go, if they trade him, they would trade him to Washington for Scary Terry. And I'm like, why would you do that? You have plenty of receivers out there on the free agency. Keenan Allen is a guy you can just plug and play. He don't have to be the man. You got a guy for that. That's a Metcalf.
You need a possession receiver, right? Right, exactly.
You need a Mari.
Get a top off the defense already, signed, sealed, and delivered. You can get a cheap Keenan Allen. Yep. You can get a cheap Amari Cooper. Yes. Yep. And they will play for you.
And they will actually be in the route they're supposed to be, which means Rodgers won't lose his mind.
Right.
No, Rodgers is going to lose his mind anyway. He's going to be on ayahuasca, so he's not going to have much of a mind to keep on anyway. And again, Aaron Rodgers, if you ever want to, I am down to do some ayahuasca with you. Let's get this done, my guy.
You know the best part about that is side effect.
He's retired. He'll do it too.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Just tell me when and where. I'll be there.
A side effect of that is supposed to make you like more social. Right. So if this is the more social
for the cave,
Rodgers, like that's a scary thought, isn't it?
A more social Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like an oxymoron, actually. But
well, no, he's already on it, which means this is that version of him.
All right. On the flip side of this trade, is Miami like mailing it in?
I think so, right? Like I think we can all kind of say that New England is the second best team in that division. Buffalo by far is the best team in that division. Miami, Tyreek Hill got old like a gallon of milk that you left outside, right? Like it's just not something that's going to work for you. Aging like a banana. That's kind of what I'm saying. I can't see anything really. Like if you're buying stock in the Miami Dolphins, you don't need to be doing that. Like they're going to be, to me, the third best team in that division. They're going to be fighting off the Jets for the last team in that division. Their window closed, and it didn't just close; it was slammed shut.
Yep. Yeah, it was a pump and dump stock. It was good for one time.
Their window. We got to remember, like before they went into Kansas City, and it was negative 28 degrees, and those people got frostbite on their nipples. The Miami Dolphins had themselves an offense. They scored 70 points against the Dolphins. That offense was terrifying. They were leading the league in rushing with Raheem Mostert, and it just fell off the cliff. Like it just fell off the cliff.
Frostbite.
And they got they've got to have. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect, but their coach has got to be like the weirdest guy in the freaking NFL, at least among head coaches. What I mean, come on, who's taking them seriously for crying out loud in the locker room? Anybody? But you never hear this guy's in trouble ever. I don't know. I don't get it.
So they do like him inside the room. So from the outside, he seems like an odd guy.
Seems like,
right?
But knowing a coach in the room, they like him. Like he's a good dude. And so I don't think they have they're not taking him serious issue.
He seems like Mr. Rogers with shades.
I don't know. Mr. Rogers don't swear like he does, so
he does drop a few F-bombs here and there, but
well, maybe he says it's a beautiful day in the effing neighborhood. I mean.
He's like the Eddie Murphy version of Mr. Rogers, right?
Yes.
Like you could tell he's a good dude. He's a player's coach, but like he just seems over his head, right? Like it's too much for him to be a head coach. Maybe he's one of these Wade Phillips type of dudes where you're just a great coordinator, but you're not head coach material.
100%. Great offensive coordinator. That's what he ought to probably be doing. And good guys are wonderful, but they don't always win Super Bowl championships, right? So
that's why I'm a bad boy.
I don't see McDaniel winning a Super Bowl championship. Tip's a bad dude.
That's the thought behind what Brandon Staley, right? Is great coordinator, a little too much a little too much on the analytics for being a head coach.
Well, gee, thanks, Danny.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, B. Bo, because I love the fact that we have him as our defensive coordinator now.
He's good at that. He's really good at that. Being the dude is not his job.
Game management is not his forte either, by the way, if we remember right.
Yes.
And thank goodness he doesn't have that responsibility.
Right.
Exactly.
Speaking of coaches, is Mike Tomlin. What do you guys see for him this year?
It's done.
9-7. Or 9-8 rather.
9-8.
9-8.
I see a lot of blank stares out of Mike Tomlin on the sideline this year because you talk about a dumpster fire. This has a chance to be a real dumpster fire.
I hope it goes bad early so that we can watch everybody at their worst immediately.
Yeah.
I don't see Mike Tomlin and Rodgers hugging and the chest bumping like that. So I think Tomlin, he's not going to do that to Tomlin. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, like Tomlin's going to reach out for him like Saleh did.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Well, to me, like I'm just waiting to see, like, when we're halfway through the season, Aaron Rodgers throws like a very bad interception because he's got a noodle of an arm right now. Just a 1,000-yard stare into nowhere from Mike Tomlin with his arms.
Exactly.
Just like I stayed on for this. This is what I stayed here for. Bo's right. They're going to go 9-7. They don't have losing seasons.
Yeah.
They're just not going to be a good team.
Yeah.
There's no
I mean,
but you have the
play
DK
devil's
element. He's
advocate.
going to lose his mind too. Like DK is going to lose his mind and create problems and lose them a game for sure.
I don't know if he's going to lose his mind, but the thing about DK Metcalf, he is a tremendous athlete.
The 100%.
The problem with him is he gets disillusioned in the early part of the game. Like, for instance, if you cover him, if there's a corner playing him real tight and they don't throw to his way, he loses interest in the game after that. It's like, I can't do anything.
Look for them to run the ball a heavy dose. And I like the running back out of Iowa, Caleb Johnson. I think a lot of people are asleep on this kid.
Yeah.
He is, if they run a zone scheme, outside zone, he reminds me of Le'Veon Bell a lot. Has the patience. He can hit the hole. He's got really good enough speed, maybe 4 or 5. And the offensive line, if it's healthy, Rodgers won't have to do too much. They're definitely going to be able to. He'll get the first down on maybe second or third down. I see a lot. Just keep that name in your head, Caleb Johnson. That kid is impressive, and I think he's a steal at third round. He probably should have been a second rounder or late first, but it was just way too many great talent in the first round. But just watch out for him. And
B,
remember this day. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think he's going to be great.
Just a fun piece of trivia, DK wise, is every year he's been in the league, he's gotten more after the play penalties. So that's not a trend that's been getting better, right? Like it's been unsportsmanlike conduct and all of those types of things after the play. And he even got asked this during last season, like, what is it that's getting you out of control? And he's like, I'm perfectly in control and all of this. And so these penalties are getting worse every year. And he's in these interviews being like, no, they're not getting in my head at all. It's like, you realize we watch you with 22 cameras every Sunday, right? Like
that's another indication of how far Pittsburgh's gotten away from any kind of identity that they've had in the past, right? And to me, this is a team that's been looking for an identity for like 10 years. I mean, they were tough, hard-nosed. They'd run the football with the bus, and even before him, obviously. And I don't know about sense, really, quite frankly. But even with Roethlisberger, they were tough, and they were good on defense, and they were smart and disciplined, and didn't get those after-the-play penalties, Bo. And that's going to drive Mike Tomlin. This guy's going to be an alcoholic before the year's over.
If he isn't already.
Yeah, he's looking at this roster like, yeah, I'm just going to take up drinking. Like, it's fine.
But I mean, really, do you feel that they're like maybe like say if they get Keenan Allen, I'm gonna be devil's advocate here. If they get Keenan Allen, of course they signed TJ Watt. They do have a pretty good defense. Okay. minus Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't understand that whole situation, but whatever. But if they are. Mike Tomlin is a good enough coach to get that team. I can't say to first place in that division because Baltimore is they're stacked. I don't see too many people beating them this year. But they could get into second place. I mean, Cincinnati, you can say Cincinnati all you want, but they don't have any type of defense. None. You got to have some semblance of a defense out there. Yeah. In Cleveland, we don't know even who the quarterback's going to – I mean, we assume Flacco is going to be the quarterback, but still, I mean, that whole organization is like the Lions in the last, before they started doing well. That's basically what Cleveland is right now.
So let's go with the hypothetical that Pittsburgh winds up being the second place team in the division, right? They still get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, and that's what the whole issue with Mike Tomlin has been, right? And if you're going all in, the way the Pittsburgh Steelers have gone all in, you need more than a first-round exit. You need a Super Bowl. You need to do something here. This team just isn't good enough. Like Keith was talking about, what's their identity? Their identity is going to be 9-8. That's right.
Another winning season.
I'm
exactly.
I don't want to hate on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they make it so easy. It makes me sad that they traded George Pickens, because just imagine what that locker room would have been like with him. As a Cowboys fan, I'm happy. Yes. But if you would have had George Pickens in the mix with all this, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, just that melting pot of weird personalities, it would have been so good for Hard Knocks. Like Hard Knocks would have been I'm not going to say what I was going to say because it's very graphic, and you guys know that I have a graphic mindset, but Hard Knocks would have been just so ready for this to be something that they could have done. Pittsburgh, you talk about Cincinnati not having a defense. The number one thing you have to have is chemistry. And I just don't think that Pittsburgh is going to be able to develop that chemistry.
I would agree. Cincinnati has chemistry. They don't have good defensive players. That's their problem. I think Cincinnati's got great chemistry. That's why they won 5 in a row to end it last year and give themselves a chance, even with that horrible defense. And I think you're right. I think they'll finish second in that division. I don't think Pittsburgh can because of that very issue. Matters a lot.
Yes, the whole time. Already talking about the Super Bowl.
I can't do the math on the letter Roman numerals. So is that Super Bowl 100? Is that what she's talking about?
I think that's 60.
Super Bowl.
I thought it was 100.
It feels like it.
What 100's easy, man. It's a C note.
I know that.
So let's switch over to Major League Baseball. Okay, 60, Sonia, we got it. Let's look over to Major League Baseball. The Dallas Cowboys. Oh. That's what we do. That's what we do, Sonia.
That is this show. I know we disguise it.
You
by
say
saying
my Panthers right after that.
I know we describe it by saying professional. This is the clown show. Let's be honest.
I love how she's like, I can't be a part of the show, but she's commenting the entire time.
She's saving her voice.
Yeah, she's not going to talk at all anyway tonight. She's going to get 3 words in an hour.
Right.
So the Midsummer Classic All-Star Game is coming up, and so far in the American League, the Yankees are ahead in their division. Big series going to happen right now between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. But I think the Blue Jays are only like a game out of first place, along with the Rays. So the surprising Tampa Bay Rays. Also in the AL Central, there's no one game going on there. The Tigers really got that division right now. They're 12.5 games above the Cleveland Guardians. Houston is 7 games above both Seattle Mariners.
Yep.
Is Seattle? I haven't really been paying attention to Seattle. Are they slowing down, or is it just that Houston is just really doing a number right now? They're 8-2 in the last 10.
Like there's this whole theme park, and you could ride any roller coaster you want, but we ride the same one every year. So even the same like peaks and valleys are identical season to season. we start off slow, we ramp up, we take the lead for a second, and then we trail off. The All-Star break comes. We forget how to play baseball for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then as soon as we're almost mathematically out, we'll go on a run and miss the playoffs by like 1 to 5 games.
She wants us to acknowledge her. So, hi, Sonia. How you doing?
Hey.
I'm here because I missed you guys. I don't think I can do the No Wednesdays without y'all. I'm lonely.
Well, the Panther segment's over though, so
yeah, we spoke about how they were going to go. We spoke about how they were going to go 4-13 this year.
No. So not Cowboys, Carolina. You got the wrong team.
No. You already know. The Cowboys were going 0-17. I've said this all year long. We're going 0-17.
No, I'm not here to cause disruption. They're on the MLB segment. Be Strilla, go ahead. I'm just here to just be here.
So in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies have a 2-game lead over the New York Metropolitans. The Chicago Cubs have a 2-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. And the LA Dodgers are 7.5 games over the San Diego Padres. Right now, the 2 best teams in the majors are LA and Detroit. Detroit managed to win the first half of their doubleheader today, 11-2 over the Nationals. Let me yawn. Okay. That's what the Nationals are right now. They're pretty bad. Any views going into the All-Star game? Who do you think? And I know, Keith, you had a segment on one of your shows about with you and Jack about the Mets and the Yankees.
And the Yankees specifically, you're seeing this Yankee Blue Jay series is kind of in my estimate kind of the epitome of what's wrong with the Yankees and what's right. The Blue Jays do, and I don't know if they're built this way or it's just the way they play ball. They put the ball in play, and good things can happen. When you don't strike out 13 times, 12 times a game, good things can happen in those other 7 at-bats. Guys make errors. This is what you've seen. They put pressure on other teams. Yankees don't do that. Yankees score runs when they hit home runs and when Aaron Judge is carrying his team. And there's too many holes in this lineup and guys that don't hit with guys in running in scoring position. The rotation has been better than I thought because the kids have stepped up. Will Warren has pitched really well the last 2 months, really. Clark Schmidt has really stepped it up. Rondon's pitched better than I thought he could or would. But watching this Blue Jays series, you see the Blue Jays are playing pretty good baseball recently, and they pulled it just a game behind. And it's because, and this will work against every team. Put the ball in play, and something good can happen. And everybody, the 3 true outcomes is so boring to watch in baseball. And this is a team that's gotten away from that formula a little bit. One of the few teams in the leagues, either leagues. And I like to watch them play. I don't like to watch them win. But the Yankees have got some holes to fill for the second half if they want to. They'll probably make the playoffs. But if they want to go deep into those playoffs, they're going to have to make some serious adjustments to this lineup.
The Blue Jays are playing baseball like what we used to see before we got all the analytics of feast and famine, home run, walk, strikeout, right? They're playing what would, I guess, be considered old school baseball, which sounds like sacrilege. I'm 40. I shouldn't say the baseball I grew up with was old school. Okay,
no, you should not.
But like for me, Keith is right. Like the Yankees, I feel like they're going to get a little bit of help whenever Stanton comes back. But what version of Stanton are you going to get?
He's back now. But
whenever he's actually healthy, like not coming back, rehabbing, like this is just rehab stuff for him.
When is he healthy? I've seen him healthy about 3 weeks in the last 5 years.
That's a very true statement. The man is made out of glass, so you might be 100% right here. But whenever you were talking about like the Yankee struggles, Aaron Judge just a week ago we were talking about was almost batting 400. He was like at 390. He struggles, gets down to 350, and you see the Yankees just lose and lose and lose.
Yeah.
And you can't win with just one guy carrying your team in baseball. The Blue Jays are playing a whole team sport. The Tigers are playing a whole team sport. But this team, like ML Bolts is saying, they're like as a Yankees fan, it's painful to watch this team at times because you don't know what version of this team you're going to get. I get it that it's going to ebb and flow, but come the F on, man. This team, they spent way too damn much money to be this mediocre.
100%.
I agree.
In some news and notes, Braves placed Schwellenbach on IL with a fractured elbow. Chapman notched his 350th career save in the Red Sox win today. And Kershaw eyes 3,000th K in front of home fans at Dodger Stadium.
That's a big story. Big story.
Yeah, you
yes.
think you'll get it?
Yes, I do. We were talking the other day. I don't know where. I think it was on maybe my Sunday show. We were talking about guys playing their entire career with one team, and Kershaw was one guy that I kind of missed when I was thinking about guys because I was trying to come up with the last guy who really did it, and there was a few that I'd missed because I thought I was going all the way back to Derek Jeter, but there's been a couple of guys. They brought up Charlie Blackmon. Trout's going to be that guy. Kershaw is in that group, and you don't see that in. It hurts the game in my mind too. The way people move around. Football, you've kind of, it's a little bit different, but in baseball, when I was in old school baseball, Tip, a guy's played 20 years in one city and you got to, get attached to guys. And I like seeing that. And I want to see Kershaw break this record. And I want to see him do it in front of his home crowd. I'm no Dodger fan. I can tell you that, but
that was also before free agency.
Yes, there was a time before free agency, believe it or not. I don't know, be sacrilegious. I was going to use a different analogy, but I shouldn't do that.
Speaking of news, those same Pittsburgh fans have been delighted by the Pirates the last 6 games because they're 6-0 in the last 6 games. They swept the Mets and they swept the Cardinals.
Don't get excited, Pittsburgh fans.
The Braves beat them once, though, recently.
Similar to what Bo said earlier, this is
talking about the last 6 games.
This is the Pirates. This is the Pirates, though. They will trade, anybody who's got any talent at the break, and they'll lose 100 games.
Beastrill is like, look, I'm talking about less than 10% of the season. The last 6 games. That's what we're going to talk about. Right
everybody was dogging Pittsburgh earlier in this
less than
for
5%
a reason
of the season.
Still 12 games under 500 with a 6-game winning streak. They're 12 games under 500.
Welcome to my world, Beastrilla.
Hey, the Tigers were in the same situation last year where they were way back and they came back and
clawed their way back.
Mm-hmm. Well, the difference was with the Tigers, you saw a heartbeat. With Pittsburgh, you see a flat line. That's the biggest difference between them. Even with this, all this is being shocked by the defibrillator. They're done.
The Tigers have developed talent and brought in and spent money to bring some players in here. In Pittsburgh, all they do is develop players and to move them on to other teams and be stars. Because Paul Skeens will never sign a long-term contract in Pittsburgh. I guarantee you. He may not get traded this year, but next year, I'll bet you he gets traded.
I can't wait until Paul Skeens.
He might get traded this year.
He might get traded this year. He's got 5 or 6 years of team control, too. He would bring back a huge haul, more than Soto got when he got traded from more than the Nationals got, which they haven't made use of, from the Padres when they traded Soto. He could bring back probably the biggest haul ever in a Major League Baseball trade.
I don't even know why McCutchen came back.
He's their best hitter, for crying out loud. That team, that's how bad they are.
That's the obvious reason. Yeah. But if I was McCutchen, I guess he's true to his team. He got very few players in the league.
It's where he started, and he likes Pittsburgh. It's too bad. I feel bad for fans in Pittsburgh. That's a city with great baseball tradition, and they got ownership that all they do is take whatever luxury tax money they get, and it goes in their pocketbook.
Whenever
there's something to be said about playing for a terrible team because you can go in a slump and you're still their best hitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever a team hasn't won in the last 50 years, can we say that they've had a great tradition of winning?
Well, because there was baseball before then, yes. So I can say that. And they won in 50 years. They won in 79. That's not 50 years.
45 years ago, whenever they won.
Keith, you act like you're 102, man. Come on.
I'm not quite that.
He's on day 53, I think, of retirement, something like that.
Yeah, there you go, somewhere
56, but you're close. I like your number.
I'm always close.
I like your bet number better.
Anybody looking forward to the home run derby?
No. Even last year Last year I went to Globe Life Field here in Texas.
Bad.
I was there for the home run derby and the All-Star game. And even being there at the home run derby, I was bored. Like it's crazy to me because I love the home run derby, but it's not what it used to be.
I'm looking forward to one thing. The teams are going to wear their own uniforms for the first time in about 5 or 6 years. Maybe, I think it's 5 or 6 years. And we don't have to watch these pajamas that they put on these poor guys to sell more merchandise. I want to see the guys wear their jerseys. And, some of these guys you don't get to see. You don't see them all the time. And you want to know who the hell. You try to figure out who the hell they are and who they play for. Look with some of the junk they've had them wearing the last 6 years.
Shout out to the Savannah Bananas. They are like the best entertainment out there for baseball.
There's a rumor that the Rockies are going to be relegated to a minor league, and they're going to put some
bananas in the podcast.
Oh, no. What'd you say, Skrilla?
I said we're the Savannah Bananas of the
We entertain. They're highly rated. They get like 1 million views on their stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, if they could, for the home run derby, can we just feed those guys some steroids and give them some corked bats? And
that's what I'm saying. I want steroids.
See if they can dent some cars in the parking lot.
Give them a subscription to Happy Nuts.
Yeah.
I've been plugging that in. Skrilla won't put the comment up. I've been saying it all show. Tip.
I have been putting the comment. What you talking about?
But you put it up and you flash it away so quick that Tip doesn't even see it. I've been watching.
No, he saw it because he was laughing when you put it up there.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it verbalized.
It's just that whenever it comes to Happy Nuts, you have to apply it at the right time.
I applied it at the right time.
We are trying to have a successful sports show here. I can't always verbalize every comment that comes out here because I have these gentlemen talking around me and they're talking sports.
But it was me. Okay.
And just go to www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code and save on all your male grooming needs.
It was me.
And coming soon, Happy Vag. The women's line.
Oh, God.
Thanks for tuning in.
You guys, I missed you.
See, Sonia comes in here and she just derails the whole show.
It's funny. We were actually talking about sports today.
We were.
Yeah.
You guys almost made it.
We made it 50 minutes.
We were putting the pro and professional, and then
I was quiet. I gave you guys all of this time.
Look at James.
It's a very diverse show. We got assorted nuts on the show. I mean,
yeah.
No. Happy nuts. Our nuts are happy on this show.
That's right.
happy assorted nuts. So
I'm not talking about my nuts on this show. I'm just not doing it.
If you use www.
I have to exit stage.
Are your nuts depressed? Are your nuts unhappy?
There's only two minutes left in the show. Come on.
I've done what I came to do, and that was conquer and destroy.
Disrupt the show.
Goodbye, guys.
All right.
See ya. That's right. You can get it at www.tapthat.com.
I'm talking about a real product, guys. That's
just a tip.
No, it is a real product.
It 100% is a real product.
Are they paying any money for us to talk about them for 10 minutes, though? Really?
They're paying me.
Oh, they're paying you?
Use promo code Mike Tipton.
Oh, I didn't know you were getting paid, Tip. I'm sorry. Let's continue this conversation, and we can talk about
I mean, y'all
where's oxymoron? Tip talking about my nuts.
Well, the way
you got to watch the show for that, all that to blend in.
Be gets it from your pits to your tip. Take care of yourself with myhappynuts.com.
That's
right. And our lovely Sonia said she's not messing with a guy who doesn't mess with Happy Nuts. So.
Exactly.
There you go.
Good call by her, I guess.
Man.
Anyway, we are going to wrap this show
What a
up.
show.
Oh, we almost made it.
What an ending.
Sorry, Roku.
Yeah. Well, so much for the professional angle anyway.
Yeah, well, it was professional for about 47 minutes. But
that's a record. It's a record for Wednesday night.
Right.
Yeah, usually falls off the rails halfway through, not even 20 minutes. All right, it's been another enjoyable show. You guys have a very good evening. Thank you for all that commented in the comment section. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see you next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.